Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango. And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's BNB analysis video. I have a special guest with me today. Sean, say hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Sean, how are you feeling about the altcoins this morning?
Freaking fantastic. I do think that we might be in the initial moments of initiating an altcoin rally. So I think it's time to be paying attention, guys. A lot of you have been asleep on the wheel. And hey, time to freaking wake up because it's going to be a fun ride up ahead.
And we're kind of already seeing, a lot of these alts move, and they're moving really, really hard. Now, before I jump the gun on, this analysis, I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to be talking about, all right, guys? We're first going to start off with the Mango dashboard. So I'm seeing some really, really cool trends being set off. So Mango dashboard first, and then we'll go over BNB USDT only. Okay, that's the only pair we're going to be covering because it appears that there's not much interest for the Bitcoin pairing. So we'll start off with the weekly time frame and then drill down onto the lower time frames. All right, because we do close a weekly tomorrow. Very excited. Now, Sean, I have the Mango dashboard up in front of me right now. I'm currently on that 12-hour time frame. And I've actually been keeping a very, very keen eye on the dashboard for the past couple of days because check this out. Okay, now BNB USDT gave us a long trend change yesterday. Okay, and for those of you who actually caught this, you're already up 7.87%, giving you that nice, sweet buffer. But also notice this, okay? Now, 12-hour time frame, look at how well the dashboard has, caught some of these trends. Anchor USDT, okay, gave us a long 2 days ago. That is already up 59%. So,
yeah, Jesus.
Exactly. Filecoin is up 31%. This too came in yesterday, right? Storage coin up 81%. This came in 4 days ago. So this is what this is telling me is that these coins, when you get that trend change, it goes. It's like a quick break, and it's a rally from there.
Yep. So this is a really good example, by the way, like Filecoin. There are two things we can talk about with this. So Filecoin was one of the coins that I was eyeing all the way back in like November, December, even in Jan. I was really keen on it. Not keen per se, but I was interested mostly because the Winklevoss twins were openly shilling it on CNBC and Bloomberg, just like throwing it out there for the world to hear about it. And that kind of story and narrative, along with the trend switching in your direction, is what you guys want to be looking for, right? Now, a lot of you, especially who are interested in altcoins, already have the narrative of these coins at the back of your minds, right? You guys know what these coins are all about. So when you find a strong narrative and then you find the trend switching green as well, that's the combination that you guys want to be catching. So for example, Anchor too, people have been talking to me about it and saying, hey, it has this going for it, it has that going for it. So when you guys have conviction with the narrative, that's great. But I would always recommend to wait for that trend to switch in your direction, in the direction of a narrative, to give you the confirmation that, hey, other people believe in your narrative as well, right? And that's when you catch the wins while avoiding opportunity cost. I've been talking about opportunity cost since the beginning of this rally, always since like last year, right? And you don't be sitting in a coin that's not moving while you have things like audio USD, right, moving 94% now. We don't know what the narrative behind this is, but hey, it gave us a trend change 4.4 days ago now, 4.3 days ago, and it's up almost 100%. So again, this is the time, guys, to be holding on to your army, right? To your capital is your army, holding on to your army and deploying them in the right direction at the right times. Don't get too greedy, right? Be optimal.
Wisdom bombs dropped. Okay, we've sat through one altcoin cycle, guys, so this is some nice good advice from experience. Two killers in a crypto bull market is opportunity cost and complacency. You do not want to be caught in any of those two. Okay, so now let's get into the charts. BNB USDT. By the way, guys, heads up, I will also be bringing up some nice fresh targets, so stick around for that. So far, Sean, I'm currently on that weekly time frame. I have my beautiful Mango Dynamic pulled up because it is now my favorite indicator, officially my favorite
That's funny,
indicator.
because I have the Ichimoku pulled up on my end here. we've reverse roles, but hey, guys, always use a multitude of tools for your thesis. So I don't ever as strong as an indicator may be. And I know Krish and I've been catching myself use the Mango Dynamic as a crutch, and as good as it is, like, we got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
Don't get complacent. You just said it, Krisha. We shouldn't get complacent. So
that's true. That's true. I really gotta correct myself here. It definitely has me feeling lazy with my with my trade setups. I mean, but although I'll say this, it's just been giving it to me on a platter. The trades have been very, very clear. Now take BNB USDT on the weekly time frame. Now the Mango Dynamic has stayed bullish. It's in that green bullish territory ever since December, right? And it gave us a break of a multi-year resistance at around $38. Clean break. We got a retest, test coming all the way down to the op line, and then rally all the way from there. Okay, so $38 all the way to $275 currently. That's a beautiful 632% to the upside, Sean. And notice how that dynamic is still green. It has not switched purple. Okay.
And that's the point of the dynamic along with the higher time frames, right? It keeps you in the trend. It allows you to sit back and be like, hey, I'm going to do it Mango. Yes, I'm seeing a pullback, but I'm not going to get scared of this. The Mango dynamic is saying we're still trending. We're trending well. I'm going to sit through this. It's going to take a few weeks, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. But right over here, guys, we're pretty much nearing all-time highs again for BNB, right? And this may go up again to 550. I remember Krisha calling for 550 eventually on this move. I'm not sure, but I think it was 550, Krisha.
I don't know.
She'll tell us at the end of the video.
I got the targets coming in soon. But this, I mean, this picture so far is looking really, really bullish to me, right? So the range that I currently was looking at was from that 280 region going all the way down to 217. And the fact that price was unable, like the bears were unable to even take it down to 217, and that would have also, by the way, given the dynamic an official test there. We did not do that, right? We got picked up well before price could even get down to the 217 region. However, I think it's going to be prudent to just note that BNB coin is up against resistance at 278. Okay, now we do close a weekly candle tomorrow, Sean. So if this candle closes even slightly over 278, I think that this is likely going to take another move to the upside, and I think that would very well trigger. Now, I don't know if you guys see this. That looks like a symmetrical triangle bull flag to me, playing out right now.
That is so interesting that you're watching 278 on the weekly time frame. That's lining up with a close tomorrow, right? So basically, you're saying, hey, there's a bull flag on the weekly time frame, but 278 is the key level on the weekly time frame, because I would not be looking at 278 on the weekly time frame. I'd be looking at around $300 on the weekly time frame. But that being said, Krisha, I'm not watching the weekly time frame in terms of opportunity at the moment. I'm watching the 3-day time frame in terms of opportunity, and this is where it gets really interesting, because on the 3-day time frame, 278 is a clear level, right? It's staring in the face. 278 is exactly right there. But it's also closing tomorrow, lining up with the weekly time frame. I love that freaking confluence. So it's lining up exactly with what you're talking about. If we close a weekly candle above 278, 279 tomorrow, it's going to line up with a 3-day candle close break on the 3-day time frame as well as the weekly time frame. So love that.
Exactly. So there's a lot lining up for this, and that's why I don't know if you can hear the smile on my face. Like, this is what I call a very, very neat trade, right? Yeah. If this breaks, that 278 region would be, it would be such an easy trade to manage. And that's what makes a good trade. How easy is it to really, really manage? Okay, even if it breaks to the downside, because it's all a game of probabilities at the end of the day, right? Trades can go in your favor. However, there's a good chance, not a good chance, but there's a little probability where it can also go against you. And it's about how well you can manage that trade if it goes against you, right? Yep. So I think as far as, things stand, Binance BNB coin is looking good. However, I will be waiting on that 278 break because, we are still up against resistance. And this has been key resistance, Sean, ever since 18th of Feb, right?
No, I agree. Since we've looked at the weekly, we've looked at the 3-day, and we both know that, hey, we're 1 day away from making a critical close. We can now look at the daily time frame, right?
Yeah.
So we have 1 day to go. So let's look at the daily, and there's something interesting going on over there too. We have been putting in a squeeze-like formation, as you guys can see. It's very neat. We've been accumulating along the dynamic, right? So we've been putting in a high, a lower high. Now the question is right over here. We're coming in to either put in another lower high, right, before we squeeze a little bit more for another higher low, because you guys can see it, Krisha. You're probably seeing the higher lows from 23rd of Feb. Okay, so the squeeze over here, guys, is going to be really, really important. Do we break today or do we get rejected again? Right. So now we're seeing the confluence across the timeframes. On the weekly, Krisha talked about 278 and the bull flag. On the 3-day, I'm looking at the range bound at 278 as well. We're about to close that 3-day candle. And now the daily is showing us the squeeze with lower highs and higher lows. So it's all lining up with decision time on this daily close, because the daily close is going to give us a weekly close, a 3-day close, and a potential continuation, or hey, perhaps a little bit more patience and more accumulation along that daily dynamic, coming in at 228 at the moment.
Yep. So now let's talk about targets, okay? So we're gonna, okay, so like I mentioned earlier, there's gonna be that upside potential. There's also gonna be downside potential depending on how price reacts off of this point of resistance, right? So we're first gonna start off with bullish targets, Sean. Let's get a drum roll. And boom, targets on my chart. Okay, so here's what I will be looking for if BNB closes over this 278 region that we are looking at. Okay. And yes, I'm going to be looking for candle body close, at the very least that daily, and also what's really cool about the daily, like Sean mentioned, it lines up with the weekly and the 3-day. So I'm going to now pan on over to the 3-day time frame just to give me that nice, beautiful zoomed out chart. Okay, now if we close this 3-day candle over this 278 region, Sean, I believe that the next major point, okay, I don't want to say a point of resistance, but my next major target really comes in at 374.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so that's $374. The midpoint, however, comes in at 322. Right? But if you have to just look at that major range from where price is at right now to 374, that's got 33% to the upside.
Nice.
Okay, now if we start closing over 374, the next major target comes in at $468.
There you go. Yeah, so I have 2 targets as well. And my first target is around $380, and the next target is around $475.
Oh, boom.
So, yeah.
Close enough.
Perfect. Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
I love that confluence. Like, so we're seeing the same things for sure, even though we're looking at different things. And that's I really like that. That's what community's for, right? That's why working with multiple traders and talking to multiple traders, when we all see the same things through different angles, you know that different market participants are kind of trading in your direction as well, which is what you want, right? That's what you want as a trend trader.
Exactly. And I have one more point of confluence on the 400 region, which is if the symmetrical triangle breaks to the upside, that measured move would take BNB all the way up to 460.
Ooh, nice. There we go.
So there's confluence there. And guys, bear in mind that this is going to be a bull flag break if we do break to the upside. Okay, so these targets are still on the more conservative side, because if you have to go ahead and measure the pole, that's going to give you something a lot larger than 468.
And that's where it gets really interesting, because I do think that's what we're going to be seeing in this market. And Krisha, that's lining up on my charts to around $550 to $600.
Yeah. So that's it's looking good. It has me freaking excited as hell. But okay, now these are the upside targets. Let's go ahead and talk about the downside targets. Okay, I think the very, very obvious one. Let's look at the symmetrical triangle break to the downside, which is gory as hell. But this measured move would take us down to $80. However, please note that measured moves do not pan out in one straight line. It's always going to be an if this, then that. Notice how we have other critical points of support underneath us before we break down to those kind of numbers. Okay, but what I will be looking for if this actually does see a breakdown, allow me to get rid of this line, is I'll be looking for how price reacts off of this point of resistance. Same thing, 286. If we start getting rejected off of that, I will then be looking at the bottom of the range coming in at 211.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm looking at that too. So if we start seeing daily candle closes underneath around 211 to $200, this picture is going to break down, and I'll be looking towards $130 first, 122, like 130 to 122, and then perhaps much deeper, 75 perhaps.
Yeah, it's gonna have a much larger pullback. So yeah, I think for me the next one, the next region of support, if we start breaking that $200 region, is going to come in at 140, 141ish.
But again, that's only guys if we break that key support region at around 211 to around $200, right? Until we do that, Binance is in a consolidation and the trend is bullish, so we always lean towards the direction of the trend, and the trend is up, so up only.
Yes sirree, yes sirree. But so far, guys, trend is still intact. That weekly trend is still intact. For this weekly trend to break, notice the Tenkin right here on the weekly time frame. It's currently flatlined at 188. It's only if we start losing 188 to the downside, only then will that trend really break to the downside on the weekly time frame. But so far, it's a bullish picture. Now you have our bullish targets and our bearish targets. Boom, Sean, any final closing notes?
Nope, I think you covered it all, Krisha. We can wrap up.
Beautiful. With this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao.